Hi kids, and welcome to another one of Emma's Snippets. Now today I want you to think about perception, and I want you to think specifically about how you think people perceive you, okay? And we're going to break that down. I want you to think about how you believe you're perceived by people internally at work, so within your team and the wider business, but also externally, whether they be clients or you're the client and how they see you, but people in your network, in your professional network, outside of your day-to-day, and then your friends and family. Okay, and I want you to consider how you think they see you. All right. Now, within this, we're going to bear a couple of things in mind. First of all, we don't actually know how we're perceived by other people. We're never going to know how we're perceived by other people. If you think about it, you don't know your own principles, your own behaviours, your own outlooks. You don't really understand why you feel the way you do, why you act the way you do, why you think the way you do. These things are things we're working on all the time. So if you don't know yours, you definitely don't know someone else's agenda. So we're not asking you how people perceive you. We're asking you how you think you're perceived, because we wear different masks in different places, right? We've got a different mask, perhaps in different roles, perhaps with different personality types, perhaps depending on the outlook, the outcome, where you are, etc., etc. The other thing then I want you to do is I want you to break that down and make it really complicated and contradictory. I want you to think, right, well, they see me, this way and this way, but also this way and this way. And those things don't make sense together. That's perfectly normal. I want you to think along those lines. I don't want you to pigeonhole yourself. Okay. And what I want you to do as well is think, is it different types of people? Is it different hierarchies of people? How am I different around different people? Perhaps there's a certain personality type that brings the best out in me. I'm really bubbly around them. I'm really fun around them. I'm quick-witted around them. My brain is really efficient around them. And then there's other people that I work with, say perhaps within the team, where when they're around me, I just feel completely sapped of energy. These people think I've got loads of strength and they think I'm really brave. These people think that I'm really weak and that I can't cope with anything. And I want you to consider all those different outlooks and all those different perceptions, because what they do is they give us a really good indication and a really good clue about how you actually see yourself, what your fears are and what your aims are, what you would love people to think about you and what you really, 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 really don't want people to think about you. And if there's somebody that intimidates you, your perception of them thinking X, Y, Z is probably also what you're most afraid of being seen as. And actually, in real terms, if we think that we're seen in a certain way, we're probably going to act in that way. It becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So, my manager thinks that because I make jokes and I make light and I'm flippant all the time, that I'm not serious, that I'm not invested, that I don't care. When actually, that's a coping mechanism for me. And also, I see business as a people-based situation and I'm trying to bring us all up. Or perhaps it's the opposite. Thing to note is those clues tell you about how you see yourself in the world, okay? And it's interesting to understand when you wear certain masks and what triggers them. You think about it, perhaps you go to a pub or a restaurant to meet a mate and all of their mates you've not met before, okay? Maybe it's a stag or a hen or something like that. And all of a sudden you feel yourself slipping into certain roles with certain people, class clown, intellect, shy guy, bit boring, bit nerdy, whatever it is, intimidated, upfront, being loud. It's interesting how a very brief understanding of somebody's personality can make you form and wear certain masks. So it's really worth digging into it and just seeing how you're perceived. Because these are the first steps, these are the major steps we can take in understanding why we behave the way we do, the stories we tell about ourselves, why we're holding ourselves back, where the boundaries of our comfort zones are, how we can people effectively. And then once we have that trust for ourselves, everything else starts falling into place. You'll find yourself procrastinating less. You'll find yourself feeling like you're successful more often. You'll find communication, networking and peopling and just generally having relationships so much easier. So that's what I want you to do. That's this week's homework. So go away and have a think. How am I perceived? What do I believe I'm perceived? Not what, how. How do I believe I'm perceived? Okay, not how do they perceive me, because we don't know. And frankly, we don't care. We might want to act a certain way so that we act a way that we want to be perceived. But actually, in real terms, we definitely don't want to be judging ourselves on how other people see us. That's external validation. But we do want to unpick that thread, pick apart those knots so that we can see how we see ourselves. Hopefully, that makes sense to you. If it's something you want to explore more, or it didn't make sense and you just want to go away and think about it a little bit further, drop me a DM, drop me a message. I'm always open for a chat. But go away and have a think about it. You know, how do I believe I'm perceived, and by who, and possibly why? Okay, that's it for today, kids. Snippy out. Bye.